Always great catching up with Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's going to be headlining UFC Fight Night May 13th against Jailton Almeida. Jairzinho, how are you, man?
I'm great. What about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, but I'm not going to be headlining a UFC card coming up here in just under a month. They announced this was the main event. When you signed this fight, was it always the main event? Because I think some people thought it was going to be Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker.
No, it wasn't. It isn't supposed to be a main event. And yeah, as you mentioned, it was the main event of Johnny Walker and Anthony Smith. And if I have it right, they're gonna do the co-main event and we do the main event. Why I didn't know, I don't know, but I definitely think it's a big opportunity to be a headliner.
For sure. And your fight is 5 rounds. I would assume it is if it's the main event, right?
Definitely it's 5 rounds. Yeah, main event is
Okay.
5.
Hopefully all is good. You got compensated for that because obviously if you signed the fight and it was 3 rounds, you should get paid more if it's 5. So there you go. Let's talk about that last fight against Chris Daukaus. 23 seconds is all it took. How happy were you with that victory?
Definitely was really happy. I've been working hard to accomplish my goals, and it's like, yeah, I want to win this. I want to win this, get this weight off my shoulder, and then it was so fast. It was so quick. I was really happy, and I get that on my way. So I'm looking forward. I'm on the winning column, and that's what we needed.
Yeah, and you got a really good up-and-comer here in Jailton Almeida. Did you know much about him before taking this fight?
I saw him a few times, and while I was watching his fight, I heard how you call it? How you call him? Michael Bisping was talking about him, and it was like really hype over him. So I definitely know he's one of the new guys, and he's doing his thing. I didn't know I'm gonna be facing him soon,
Mhm.
but I definitely think he does his thing, and yeah.
And how do you feel like you match up against him? I'm sure you've looked at him, looked at his fights and everything. How do you feel like stylistically you match up against him?
We have two different styles, but yeah, we're gonna leave that for May 13, and I definitely think it's gonna be a good one.
How
Yeah.
impressed have you been with him? He's 4-0 in the UFC. He's been looking, he's been finishing all of his opponents. What have you made of his run in the UFC so far?
I definitely think if you're finishing guys, it's something big. It's promising. But now you got to face me. I'm a different type of guy. All the guys he faced. I definitely think this is a big test for him.
Mhm.
I got nothing to show him, but put him away and make sure I'm looking forward. Um, yeah,
How much?
I heard some of his interview or things he said. He think it's gonna kind of be easy, and I don't know about that, but I'm training hard. I'll be ready,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to make it happen.
How much do you make of the fact that you fought pretty much all the top fighters in the heavyweight division? He, hasn't. I think if you look at his opposition, you fought much better fighters. How much will that play into the fight just because you've been in there with some of the best?
No, definitely gonna have his experience, and I think I feel good with this fight. I wanted to fight a guy more higher up a rank,
Mhm.
and the UFC wanted this fight, so we're doing it. And then yeah, it's also a different opportunity. It's the bigger picture. Win this fight, and then I get someone rank higher. Would make sense, and that's how I see it.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Obviously, you got a great camp over there at American Top Team. Who have been some of the main training partners preparing you for this fight?
Now we training with all the same guys. Pessoal, Buchecha, Phillips. We've been working with Sergei. We're working all those guys, and then we all in there. It's packed right now with a lot of heavyweights. So we get the work in, we get what we needed, and May 13 we'll be ready to beat this guy.
And a lot of things going on at your gym. Probably the biggest one, we just had Jorge Masvidal retire. I don't know how close you guys were, but what did you make of George hanging them up? He had a pretty great career.
I definitely think he has a really fantastic career. 20 years, 50 fight, that's a lot. And all what he did for the sport. He got a big name down here, and of course, we see him in the gym all the time. We're the same management. So I meet him almost everywhere, like in the gym, at the management place, and maybe sometime outside. So
It's great. And then another name, I don't know if you train with him at all. I wouldn't think so because he's a couple of weight classes below. But what do you make of Bo Nickal? He's had one fight in the UFC. He's got another big one coming up here. What do you make of him? And there's a lot of hype behind him.
No, there's definitely a lot of hype behind him. First, I didn't know he was training with us, and I think it was a few days ago. I was in the locker room and I saw him. I'm like, "Hey, you're Bo Nickal, right?" Yeah. So like, I didn't know you train here. So we exchanged some words and yeah, I definitely think he got some hype behind him, and yeah, he's doing his thing, and it's promising what he's doing.
Yeah, no, it's really excited for that fight in July. Your corner, I know that's usually the same, but I got to ask anyways, Michael Babb, who else is going to be in the cage with you?
We're going to be with the same corner. I don't think Michael Babb going to be in this one. Got something else to do. But mostly we're going to be the same Conan, King Mo, and I think Steve Bruno, John, one of those guys. So
okay. See. Yeah, it's the luxury of training an American top team. You got a lot of options. I don't think this fight's going to the scorecards. I know you like to get in and get out of there as quickly as possible. How soon do you think this fight will end?
I think definitely for me it's in and out. I'll say maybe the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a lighter guy. You want to move around, so we're gonna see it. And I mean, any mistake, you know how I deal. Any mistake, I touches people, they go down. So better keep his hands high. And yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, so we'll see what he comes with.
There's a lot of things going on in your division. Next weekend, next Saturday, we have Sergei Pavlovich and Curtis Blaydes fighting. What do you make of that fight, and who do you see having the edge there?
It's definitely a big one, and I'll go with Sergei.
Yeah. Do you think he knocks out Curtis? Curtis has been knocked out, I think, twice by Francis, once by Derek Lewis. Seems like that would be the path of victory. Is that kind of what you see happening?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. But Sergei also have his wrestling and stuff, so I think you knock him out.
Because you're headlining this card, is this part of a new contract, or are you still on the same contract as before?
I'm still on the same contract. I think I had 3 more fights.
Oh, great. Okay. Oh, so was the last fight then a new contract, I guess? Because usually you do 4 fights, right?
No, I did 6.
Oh, 6. Okay, that makes sense. That's great. We obviously are a couple months or about a month removed from Jon Jones winning the heavyweight title. What did you make of his performance over Ciryl Gane?
I expected something more, but yeah, it was really fast and crazy. Okay. Can't say nothing. He finished him really fast.
When you say expected something more, you mean from Ciryl? You felt like he would make it more competitive?
I thought it would be more exchanges definitely in the fight, especially Ciryl is so athletic, and Jon Jones made him look easy, like, it was nothing. And yeah, so it says a lot about the guy.
Do you think, we're hearing that it's probably going to be Jon and Stipe next. Do you think Jon will defeat him if they do end up fighting?
It's definitely going to be a different kind of fight than the fight Jon Jones and Ciryl Gane. But I think Jon Jones win that one as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting there. And what about you in this fight? We talked about it there. Jailton Almeida's got a lot of hype. Do you feel like, even though he's not like highly ranked or anything, that's going to put you back in that spot of being a contender? Do you kind of feel that way?
It's definitely going to put me back in active. Right now we change a lot of things in training. So I definitely think I'll win this one. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
What are some things that you've changed in training? Not with revealing too much, but what are some things that you've worked on? I know a couple of fights ago, conditioning was something that you really put an emphasis on. I know you were doing swimming and stuff. What are some things that you've done for this camp that you've changed?
Definitely keep your conditioning wise. We always want to be conditioned, especially with 5 rounds. Mm-hmm. But it's more inside the gym, training wise, different mindset. Let's work on this. Let's work on that between fights. So especially people got jiu-jitsu, like years of jiu-jitsu on me, years of wrestling on me. So we will keep working on those things like between fights.
Did you happen to catch UFC 287 last weekend? And if so, did you what did you think of Ciryl Adesanya getting that knockout?
For a matter of fact, I was there.
Oh yeah, of course. It was in Miami, yeah.
It was awesome. It's my first time at the UFC event. And man, that was awesome. And then the way he caught Pereira, yeah, that was masterclass, and also what he said, he was setting a trap. So yeah, it's risky, but it works for him. So it was masterclass.
That's great. How long has it been now that you've been living in Florida? It's at least a couple of years. Like I want to say 4 years you've been there. How long has it been since you've sort of made that home?
I think it was gonna almost 5 years now.
Five. Wow. Okay. So how has that been for you? Because I know it was a bit of an adjustment, obviously coming over from back home. How have things been over these last 5 years for you?
I must say it's worked out really, really good, really great. I can't complain. The adjustments were easy, and yeah, if you move somewhere else, you gotta see and know how you move, But I don't do a lot here yet. I like the way of living where I am right now.
Yeah. A lot of naps, and I know you play video games too. Are you playing any video games this camp?
Yeah, I'm playing soccer, and I was playing the UFC game.
Oh, cool. So have you played yourself in the game?
I definitely play myself. I do the career, so you know.
Is it accurate, do you think? Like they put like the stars on the skill set. Do you find that it's accurate to what your skills actually are?
You know what it is? Like every fight, like if I when I fight in real life, and then they update the game, so that makes sense, And that's the stars. I think I'm at 4 stars right now,
Okay.
and then yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so you agree with it. Is there anyone that you played in the game that you think their stats are off or anything? Because I think they do a pretty good job with it.
They did a really good job with it, to be honest. And I didn't really play with people that was off, so everybody was good. So the
Okay.
game was a good game.
Excellent. And you mentioned soccer or football, I guess they call it as well too. How are you good at that game? I know a lot of fighters play. It's FIFA, right? Is what
I,
you're playing?
I, I'm okay. I'm a medium. I'm I'm a medium, not a large, but I'm a medium. So people beat me, I beat them, but it's exciting because I play online and stuff.
Yeah. Do you ever stream or do you just play on your own?
I just play on my own. I can
Have you ever
stream.
thought about streaming? Because I think it would be really cool for you to connect with your fans. No.
I did it one time to what do you call this app? This purple app.
Twitch, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it one time, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Like
agree. And so we talked about it there. Obviously, you kind of like the time you've had in between fights. Do you want to fight like two more times this year, one more time? What's sort of your, not looking past May 13th, but do you like keeping active or do you kind of like how things have been?
for my experience, I think 2 fights a year is good.
Mhm.
We can maximize it for 3, but not 4 anymore. Because like in the past, we did 4 fights a year, and then you lose the fifth fight because your body wasn't
Yeah,
the rest.
overdoing it. Yeah.
So I'll definitely agree with 2 fights a year, and then if we go fast, we do 3 fights a year. You never
Yeah.
know. So that's what I suggest for my experience.
Excellent. Jairzinho, thanks so much for doing this. Always good to talk to you, man. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors or any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
No, thank you, and people can follow me on Instagram, Facebook on the Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and Twitter you can follow me on Jair Rozenstruik.